Yes, indeed. This is Professor David Steinberg, and I want to talk to you today about an excellent recent opinion piece which ran in the Wall Street Journal titled Holder's Racial Incitement, Holder being Eric Holder. What the story is about is about recent voter ID laws and how Eric Holder and the Obama administration is opposing those laws and challenging them in court. The idea behind the voter ID law is simple enough. Before you vote, you have to show some kind of photo ID, either a driver's license or a photo ID provided by the state, showing that you are who you say you are, that you are indeed someone who is legally registered to vote. That doesn't seem particularly complicated or particularly remarkable. In fact, it seems like a good idea. The idea is to prevent voter fraud, to make sure that people who are voting are in fact legally registered to vote. What's controversial about that? Well, it turns out it is very controversial with the Obama administration. They are opposing all of these laws because in the opinion of the Obama administration, this will lead to the disenfranchisement of black and other minority voters. Well, that doesn't really make any sense, does it? I mean, why is it harder for a minority voter to show a photo ID in a driver's license, or if you don't have a driver's license, obtain some kind of photo ID from the state? Why is it harder for minority voters to do that than white voters? It doesn't make any sense. Further, the Wall Street Journal looks at the evidence. Both Georgia and Indiana passed voter ID laws prior to the 2008 election. What happened to minority vote turnout in those states after those laws were passed? It went up. It went way up. In Georgia, you had a, let's find the number here, 42% increase in the black vote and 140% increase in the Latino vote. Now, if these voter ID laws really were disenfranchising minority voters, wouldn't you expect minority voter turnout to be down? Of course you would. Not that the facts have ever been particularly bothered Obama or Holder when they wanted to make an argument. And as the piece goes on, the Wall Street Journal piece goes on to point out, there's a real concern among the Obama administration with minority turnout in 2012. There was a huge black and Hispanic turnout in 2008 that helped President Obama win the presidency. But after 3 years of disastrous policies, shockingly enough, blacks and Hispanics are somewhat less inclined to vote for Mr. Obama. What a surprise, which leads the Wall Street Journal to opine that this explains Mr. Holder's racial incitement strategy. If Mr. Obama is going to win those swing states again, he needs another burst of minority turnout. If hope won't get them to the vote, if hope won't get them to vote for Mr. Obama again, how about fear? Well, I mean, the Wall Street Journal has it right, but that's half the story. I mean, they absolutely have it right that both Obama and Holder are more than willing to engage in race baiting when it serves their interests. Consider Eric Holder's statement about the Sanford Police Department in the Trayvon Martin case, that he had, let's get this right, no confidence that the Sanford Police Department will devote the necessary degree of care for its investigation absent federal oversight. Well, Mr. Holder, that statement is based on what facts? I'd really like to know. If you're alleging racism, what is the factual basis for it? If you have any facts, let's hear them. If you don't, why are you making statements like that? But again, racial incitement's only half the story here. The other half of the story is that the Obama administration is seeking vote fraud. Keep in mind that just a few weeks ago, President Obama granted amnesty, not citizenship now, but amnesty, to a significant group of illegal immigrants, many of whom are Hispanic. What interesting timing to make that decision, just a few months before an election. Don't you find the timing interesting? I certainly do. Why? Why now? Well, I think we know why, right? Obama is counting on these formerly illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, who are not citizens, to vote illegally. And that's, of course, the problem with these voter ID laws, is that they prevent vote fraud. Obama is counting on vote fraud. In fact, I've got a nifty slogan for the Obama re-election effort. Vote Obama, support vote fraud. Kind of catchy, don't you think? But seriously, how can people vote? How can people vote for this? Are you going to vote for Obama? And if so, how can you support this sort of blatant attempt at vote fraud? How can you support an administration that are opposing states when all the states are trying to do with voter ID laws is prevent people from committing vote fraud? The Obama administration is opposing efforts to prevent vote fraud. How can you support that? This is Professor David Steinberg.